Welcome to the Milk and Cookies podcast. This is the super amazing podcast that has absolutely everything to do with American football and nothing to do with Milk and Cookies. My name is Alex. I'm joined today with Leon and Anthony today. We are going over the AFC North. If you don't know what those teams are, we have the Steelers, the Browns, the Ravens, and the Bengals. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Let's go throw the first team to Leon. Leon, start us off. Give us a rundown of the Steelers.
All right. The Steelers, they're coming back. They got some new installs. Fitzpatrick back there leading the defense. Good linebacking core and Bud Dupree and some other players. Offense, I think this is like Roethlisberger, like what, second to last year, man. So
Okay.
they lost James Conner. They drafted a nice running back from Alabama. What's his name? I forgot.
Najee Harris.
That's what we wanted. Yeah, Najee Harris. We wanted him so bad in Miami, but it is what it is. So I think the Steelers will be in a good spot this year, but I say they come in second place at the end of the day.
Okay. I will say the biggest question for the Steelers right now is if Big Ben can either A, stay healthy, and if he has any gas left in the tank. Because other than Roethlisberger, who's the backup? What, Mason Rudolph and Dwayne Haskins?
Yes.
I mean, Rudolph is a decent.
He has some potential.
Some potential.
Then you go into comparison. Who do you compare about? Who's better, Mason Rudolph or Taysom Hill?
Or Taysom Hill?
Taysom Hill or Mason Rudolph? That's
Who would you
two.
rather have?
I'd rather have an actual quarterback, so I'd rather take Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, you might want to take Mason. Yeah, true.
I'd rather take a guy that actually plays quarterback instead of plays everything but quarterback.
Taysom Hill plays quarterback.
Yeah, but he plays everything else priority before quarterback. He's not a quarterback.
Very true.
So, aside from Taysom Hill drama, the Steelers, to me, I think they have 1 year left in the tank in this term of like the kings of the AFC North.
Yeah.
I still think they're good. Their defense is possibly, I'd say, is a top 3 in the entire league with T.J. Watt, Minkah Fitzpatrick, Cam Hayward, mainly because of that line. Leon said Dupree. But I think the Steelers have 1 year left in the tank to be the Kings, and then after that, Roethlisberger is going to retire, and then they're going to be all over the place with quarterbacks. Anthony, anything to add to the Steelers?
It's going to be. I hate to say it, Steeler fans, but in 2 years, you all are going to be the new Browns.
Ouch! Wow.
If they're going back and forth with quarterbacks, if you're going on the quarterback carousel, if you think about it, I think the Steelers are going to be the new Browns.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Alrighty. You see that first. You heard it first, Steelers fans.
If they're going on the quarterback carousel.
Well, that's the thing. We don't know if they're going to go on the quarterback carousel. It depends on who they draft next year. But at least for right now, Big Ben's done after a year. But now let's progress into possibly the team with the highest ceiling, in my opinion, the Cleveland Browns. Anthony, take it away.
All right. I would love to. You have Baker Mayfield, who's proven to be a good quarterback. He had a shaky first 2 seasons, but his third season, he took the team to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Took them to the playoffs. You got some great receivers. You have Odell. They still have Jarvis Landry.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Chubb. And then their defense with Myles Garrett. I keep on blanking with names, but honestly, together, the Browns are a good team. I know everyone gives the Browns hate for whatever, but they're a good team. And I think the Browns got it in the bag to make a deep playoff run this year.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm with you on that. The Browns certainly made a statement last year going to the Divisional and almost beating the Kansas City Chiefs, too. That was a really good game.
That would have been a good
It was such
Browns-Bills.
I would have been happy if the Browns progressed further than that to make that the AFC conference game. But yeah, the Browns, I say the offense has finally found its rhythm. They finally they've always had Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb has never been a problem. Nick Chubb, they have a solid – what's up?
They still have Hunt, too.
They still have Kareem Hunt as their rotational guy, which is still an above-average second stringer. Wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2 is covered with Beckham and Landry.
Okay.
Tight end – who's their tight end now? Isn't it the guy from Atlanta? Austin Hooper.
Yeah.
Yes.
who is a
Like
top
he's on.
10.
I think he's on the. He's about to be on the end of his career. He has a couple good years left.
Think so?
I
Austin
think.
Hooper? Austin Hooper, I mean, tight ends can last a long time if they can produce, but I'm with you. I think he can survive another contract and still be viable as a starter. The defense, honestly, the defense looked better than what it was last year. They have Myles Garrett. Now they have Jadeveon Clowney, which is an interesting piece, but as much as you hate to say, it's an overpriced starter. Um, they did get Josh Johnson the third in free agency. They still have Denzel Ward. Um, they have Schobert. That's probably one of my favorite additions. Now they have Schobert, the old Jacksonville linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the Browns can make a deep playoff run this time around. I really do.
And they
I
not only
think.
have Hooper at tight end, they got David. What I forget
They
his
still
name.
have Njoku there too as the
Yeah,
second.
he was kind of hurt last year.
Nacho was.
Then they got Harrison Bryant, so he's up
Yes.
Harrison Bryant. So
hmm David Njoku, former University of Miami tight end, who has just been
nice.
plagued with injuries, and now they have Harrison Bryant as their third stringer. But I'm telling you, honestly, man, the Browns, if they can just figure out those one little
If they
pieces,
can stay healthy,
if they can stay healthy, yes, mainly
it
Odell.
hey, if is the key word.
If is always the keyword. If is
They're loaded.
always the keyword. But I think if the Browns can finally figure out these last little, items, I think for sure they can hang with Kansas City and Buffalo to be the big three of the AFC.
Yeah, because they're loaded, man. Clowney, Garrett, come on.
Oh yeah, they got
They got us still with
from-
even Marvin Jones. Well, yeah,
Who
Mm-hmm.
they take in the draft?
from FSU too.
Mm-hmm.
He
Who
might
they
not
take in
play,
the
but
draft?
he's still.
I think he'll be a solid backup if anything else. But I think the Browns have finally figured it out. After an entire decade of mediocrity and trash, I think they finally figured it out, and I'm happy for them. I think that's going to be fantastic. Now let's
A
transition
decade
into
of
its decade
quarterback
of losing
carousel.
seasons and awful
Johnny
quarterbacks.
Manziel
Yeah,
and Johnny Manziel.
let's go right into the Baltimore Ravens. This could go honestly anywhere. Leon, what do you got?
Oh man, the Ravens. Yeah, like you said, it can go almost anywhere. I hope they got some new schemes and stuff. We had a lot of defenses like come in and shut down Lamar, and they're here to stay. But the Ravens, they run the ball a lot and they didn't have a lot of weapons. This year they got Sammy Watkins. They went first round in the draft and got the Minnesota receiver. Forgot his name too.
Rondale Moore?
No, it's another one. Bates.
Bates.
Yeah,
Rashad
he's gonna
Yeah, yeah.
Bateman.
yeah, he's nice. So the offense is going to be good again. They got
Ravens.
the running backs. Dobbins comes second year. Ingram left because Dobbins took over him and Gus Edwards.
Mhm.
So and the defense got better. Cornerbacks and all that. They're ready to play. So this division is tough. I'll tell you that.
It is, yeah. I have the AFC North as the second hardest division, or the second most competitive division in the NFL right now, only behind the NFC West. Anthony, anything to add about the Ravens?
I think this is going to be an interesting division, but
Mhm.
I see the Ravens winning the division.
Yeah.
I see this year being their year. They're going to win the division. They're going to make a deep playoff run, but lose to the Bills in the third round.
Okay, so lose to the Bills in the championship game.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I see the Ravens actually having a good year. I see Lamar having a bounce back season, in my personal opinion. He was up and down last year.
Yeah. Okay.
Up and down, whatever you want to say.
Mm-hmm.
But I see Lamar having a bounce back year. You got Rashad Bateman in the draft, like Leon said, and you got a bunch of weapons. You have good running back, and there's a potential of Todd Gurley coming to the Ravens.
Wow.
Todd Gurley's going everywhere now.
I know it's
Washed
crazy,
up.
but
He's washed up. He runs it.
He's washed.
because his knee, it's his knee.
He's got the ability, but his knee keeps holding him back. That's why he's
Yeah.
washed. He can't
If he
play
goes to
anywhere.
His arthritis.
If he goes to the Ravens, he's another Mark Ingram. He's going to just sit and watch. At the end of the day, Mark had a nice time, but
Mark's been everywhere. He's with the Texans now.
Yes.
he's going to play there.
Jeez, his career's gonna die there. The Ravens, to me, I don't know. I have this weird take on the Ravens. I think it can go any potential way. I could see them going 6-11, and I can also see them going 13-4. It's just there's one key thing that can determine how these guys fall. But before that, the additions, yes, they've done great. They've added Sammy Watkins, who still is underrated because he's going all over the place. They have
Sammy Watkins
Bateman. They have Hollywood Brown still there. So, I mean, there's your starting three. That's your wide receiver core right there. They still have Mark Andrews as their tight end.
Oh, yeah,
Great tight end, top 5 for sure in the league entirely. The O-line took a hit. They did end up losing Orlando Brown to the Kansas City Chiefs, which was a really substantial loss, but because of cap reasons, it makes sense. So I still think that the line is fine. The defense is great. What's it called? You said Gus Edwards and Dobbins as the running backs is fantastic. They still have Patrick Queen as their middle linebacker, Marcus Peters. Defense is great. But here's the one thing that I think that the Ravens can catch a snag on. Why do you guys think the Ravens were so good in that first full season that Lamar started? All out of nowhere. The Ravens were, a low playoff seeded team to like average, and then out of nowhere, Ravens shooting up Lamar's MVP. Why do you think that happened?
I think because for Lamar's first year, no one could figure him out.
Exactly.
No one could figure him out, and now defenses are starting to figure him out.
Exactly. Anthony, you said it fantastically.
It reminds me of back in the day when Miami introduced the Wildcat.
Exactly.
Then they did schemes and they started playing good. Now we don't run them.
That's the thing that sets me off about Lamar. He had a fantastic first year because nobody knew how to stop him. He was a quarterback that was able to basically play as the Wildcat formation and just run the ball completely. Nobody could expect, is he going to run? Is he going to throw? Is he just going to roll out and launch 40 yards? Nobody figured it out. And even last year when teams started to get a feel for the Ravens, they started to slow down a little bit. They started to lose steam because they still adapted to that run-heavy offense, not necessarily passing very much. If I'm correct, I don't even think the Ravens had a receiver over 1,000 yards or anywhere close to 1,000 yards. But this is my take on the Ravens. If they're still doing that run-heavy offense, I say they have a losing record. Because now every team has faster edge rushers, linebackers that can track a quarterback, and even Lamar. Lamar went from being a dual threat to a run-heavy quarterback, and now teams are able to adapt to him, and much as even the AFC North is able to adapt to a quarterback like him. If the offensive coordinator that they have now, if he's able to adapt these wide receivers and make, maybe 50-50 or majority pass, but have Lamar as an option to run the ball, I see the Ravens could be a top contender, maybe number 2 in the league. I'm sorry, number 2 in the AFC. But if they still stick with Lamar running the ball every third play, I say they're not going to get more than 7 wins.
I agree.
Yeah.
Alrighty, final team in the AFC North, the bottom feeder of the division, which ironically really isn't that much of a bottom feeder because they are on the up and up, I will say. Anthony, give us the lowdown of the Cincinnati Bengals.
I would love to, Alex. The Bengals, they're an interesting team. You give Joe Burrow back from injury. Joe Burrow, I believe, he's going to ball out this year. He's going to have a great year. I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. I think he leads the team to maybe 8 or 9 wins.
Okay.
You got Jamar Chase in the draft. Gives Burrow a weapon. Yeah, you could have took offensive lineman also, but giving Burrow a weapon, that's another good choice to have, is because now he has a weapon, and in the later rounds and also later on in the draft, they took more protection for Burrow. So it's a win-win situation, but I still think Joe Burrow is going to have a bounce back year, and the Bengals are going to surprise the world.
Okay, all right, Leon.
I think Bengals come in last place again, but they give you tough games. It's always going to be good games.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Burrow, he doesn't have a good season that people predict because they should have drafted a lineman, but. That's what I see. I see the Bengals in some tough games.
I think the Bengals are going to have a lot of tough games. Yeah, they did do an okay job drafting linemen in the middle to late rounds, but it's such a huge risk because you can't rely on those guys. They might be good backups, and potentially there could be a decent starter. But the fact that they skipped out on Penei Sewell, possibly one of the best offensive linemen ever to hit the draft.
He
I
went to the
mean,
Lions.
jeez, I was off. But yeah,
Got
I think the Bengals
scored.
really missed one. Don't get me wrong, Jamar Chase is a fantastic wide receiver, and they really solidified their wide receiver core with Chase, Tyler Boyd, and T. Higgins as their starting three, and their tight end is somebody. Um, but my
Somebody.
thing is, I can't get caught up on the offensive line. They have a great wide receiver core. They still have Joe Mixon as their running back. Joe Burrow it looks like a great team. That alone, just those pieces alone, are a nice, solid 10-win team. But the offensive line docks them at least 3 to 5 wins alone because Burrow is going to be scrambling and trying to leave the pocket and everything. And even their defense improved, but it's not good to me. It's not the best. I
I
still
agree.
think I still think that there's a lot of pieces that are missing on that defense. The offense looks fantastic other than the offensive line,
Yeah.
but I can't get over that one. So, all right, we finished that up. So let's get right into records. Does anybody want to start?
I'll start. Why not?
All right.
I got the Ravens going 13-4.
Okay.
In second place, I have the Bengals going 10-7.
Okay.
And in third place, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers going 8-9. And then sadly, in last place, the Cleveland Browns going 5-12.
Why do you have the Browns going 5-12?
What?
I think yeah, they had a good season last year and they have a decent season this year. I just think all the hype it gets to them and then they just don't execute well on the field.
I mean, yeah, it happened to them in 2018, 2019, when everybody was predicting that they would go 12-4 and they went 7-9. Don't get me wrong, I understand the false hype and everything, but I think 5 wins is really stabbing them in the back with that. Like, that's really killing them.
I mean, there could be some trap games.
I mean, yeah. All right, I'll give you that one. All right. Leon?
Wow, that was surprising to me, the records. But last place, I got the Bengals at 5-12.
Okay.
Then I got the Steelers at 7-10. Then I have the Browns at 11 and what is it, 6?
Mm-hmm.
And then I have the Ravens 13-4.
Okay. All righty. Both of you guys, Ravens 13-4 leading the division. I'll start from the bottoms up as well. In last place, I do have the Bengals going 4-13. I just don't have any confidence at offensive line, and I do think Joe Burrow is going to get injured again with some injury, regardless if it's season ending or just temporary. I think he's going to find another way to get injured, and he's not going to get comeback player of the year. Draft an offensive line next time, and then you might do a couple of games better. The Ravens I have are in third place going 10-7. The Browns in second place at 11-6, and I still have the Steel City in first place going 13-4, but being carried on the back of their defense. Now, playoff implications of that: the Steelers are the last team they have their fourth in the playoffs, losing to Miami in the first round, and the Browns are seventh in playoff contention, losing to Tennessee in the first round. Ravens did not make the playoffs. Now, Frankie isn't here, but he did send his predictions. Frankie has the Ravens in first place at 11-6, the Bengals in second place at 11-6, the Steelers in third at 9-8, and the Browns in last at 7-10. So, big hype by the Bengals fan. I will tell him that, but he knows the Bengals better than anybody else. So, uh, with that being said, thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, let us know how right or how wrong you were in the comments. Do you think Anthony was wrong in saying that the Browns are going 5-12? Let us know. Did you think I was wrong in saying the Bengals are going 4-13? Let us know. The last division of the series is the AFC East, and we will be getting that out shortly, hopefully. But until then, thank you so much, and we will see you guys real soon.